You are listening to Offensive Lines with Marlon and Boyd. Small stakes NFL gambling for the average fan.
Welcome to Offensive Lines. I'm Marlon.
I'm Boyd.
I hope you all had a great Christmas or holiday season if you follow another faith.
I had a great Christmas. I bet on the Houston Rockets plus 4.5. I actually bet the money line. I believe they're plus 170 to beat the Bulls on Christmas Day. 10 ducks, $27 in the account. Bing, 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 bing.
Nicely done. We had a good Christmas Eve. We cashed 2.5 of our 3 bets. Sling Blade let us down. only creating a push against KC. But we had a nice $10 money line on Cincy to win in Pittsburgh. It wasn't easy, but it came through. Washington came through.
Yeah, that was our best week. We hit all 3 bets basically.
Yeah, I call it 2.5 because we got a push, but
on all 3 bets.
Yep. Mind you, in our pool, one guy went absolutely crazy and went with 29 of 31 possible because of the push. 16 of 16 straight up. 13 2-1 against the spread.
Did he actually play the ProLine pools?
Not that I've heard.
Probably would have won a couple $100,000 on that.
Yeah, it was a sick week, just ridiculous. Hats off to Michael K.
I didn't even look after I saw I was like 6 back after the morning games. I just went, I don't need to look. I'm out of it in the overall and couldn't win the week. So
I missed the Saturday game because I was playing video games all day, and I had Atlanta, and then I misentered Baltimore, New York, and all morning I was thinking, you know what, I really like that Baltimore pick. And then Shelley goes to me, you have Giants. My shock and horror was pretty profound. Yeah, but that wouldn't have been good enough anyway. That would have gotten me to 25 out of 31. Good week, but not nearly good enough.
No, I haven't been good enough all year. But I would like to toot my horn. Toot, toot. Won our fantasy league, 2nd straight year. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and in the keeper league when you lost all your keepers. Really impressive achievement there.
That's just rubbing it in a little. But thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, you're usually gracious.
Yeah, it was for you, Wagner. 2 years in a row, buddy. Better luck in the 3rd year.
Yeah, it's the same final 2 years in a row, too.
Maybe you should put us in the same division.
Or just kick you out. All right, it's a full slate of games all on Sunday. The way God intended football. Well, except the Monday night.
Yes.
I think we should get right to the games here, pretty much. Anything in particular that won't come up in the games?
Nope, I got nothing.
Neither do I. First game up. Baltimore, +1 at Cincinnati.
No, it's +2.5 now. Since you printed that out.
I printed that out at 20-9.
Yeah, it's +2.5.
Tonight, and this is midnight. Wow. So fade the public and go Baltimore?
No, Cincinnati. Baltimore's playing for nothing.
What's Cincy playing for? Do they have seating options here?
They're playoff lives. Oh, no, they're clinched. They may be able to pass Indy. But I'm not sure, because it doesn't say.
Yeah, okay.
Well, Indy's ahead of them right now because of a better division record. And a better conference record. So.
Okay.
It's
a stay away anyway.
Yeah, I'm not going to bet it, but I'm taking
Cincinnati. 2 mismotivated teams. I'm tempted to take Baltimore here.
Baltimore stinks. They're the most overrated division champ going right now. They're an awful football team. I know they beat the Giants, but the Giants, I don't know what the hell's wrong with them. That defense is old. Cincinnati's fast. They have a decent running game. I don't know who's covering AJ Green. Don't know. They're going to get Baltimore's going to get beat. And I don't know why the money lines are closed on these games. Any idea? Like all on here.
Everything. Yep.
Oh no, there's a few. Buffalo. Oh, one. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, there's a total seal. I noticed that when I printed it, and obviously things have changed. So you're the steward of record on what lines we're actually looking at. But yeah, I noticed there were virtually no money lines, and 3 games were off the board entirely.
Yeah, so we may have to wait to place our bet. We'll tell you what we're going to bet, but we may want to, if we go money line on some of these, we might have to wait if we're picking an underdog.
Indeed, yeah. So, pool-wise, I don't know. I'm leaning to Baltimore.
I'm going Cincy. They've been good to me this year.
I'm leaning at Baltimore. Just fade the public. Next game up, Carolina, at least when I printed it, was 5-point dogs to Nolans.
That one stayed the same.
Okay.
I like New Orleans here.
I like them quite a bit. Maybe even mixed like them.
Carolina doesn't even... Their defense is very poor. I don't think Cam's got enough. They'll put up some points against New Orleans because everybody does. But Drew Brees looks like he's back in that zone again.
New Orleans impressed me a lot with their win against Dallas. Not the defense, but Dallas's defense is considerably better than Carolina's. And Romo, for all his flaws, is still at this stage better than Cam Newton.
Yes.
5's a little heavy, but I really do think we should consider this one in the mix.
Yeah. Playing at home, they're a totally different team at home.
Yeah, and it's a pride game. It's all it is.
Well, they want to get to 500.
I hadn't really even considered that.
Like you said, a pride thing. Get to 500 after starting out. What were they, 0-5? I believe.
1-4 or something.
Well, then they got that Charger gift, and it started heading them in the right direction.
Fix.
What?
The fix.
Oh, the fix. Yeah, they got the fix game. And that put them on a little bit of a roll. So
yeah. And overall, they're not a bad team. And it's kind of, if they win this, it's a good way to swing another right fist into Goodell's groin.
Yeah, he's never going to live that down. That's for sure.
They'll let him be commish for another year, maybe 2, and then he'll be shown the door.
Nah, he's made the owners money. They don't care.
Yeah, they can find another guy to make them money.
No, they don't care.
So publicly embarrassing.
They don't care. They don't care what happens to the players.
I know they don't care what happens to the players, but public embarrassment.
No, but Marlon, how much is this damage? How much did that actually damage the league? Do you think their profits went down? That's all they care about. They don't give a shit about image, or they would have done something about concussions. They could care less about their image. They don't care. There's lawsuits, 2,000, 3,000 players in a lawsuit about concussions. It doesn't even make the news anymore. They don't care. Goodell could run naked down Wall Street in New York. As long as the profits kept going up, they could give 2 shits what happens with him. Publicly,
a couple of personal defamation lawsuits, the shame of having the former boss come in to fix the mess. I think Goodell is so bad he will be removed.
Never.
For someone likely worse.
Never.
For this reason, I definitely think New Orleans is in the mix.
Yeah. Just look at hockey. Gary Bettman is going to cancel 2 seasons.
In what, 7 years?
8. He's not going to get fired. So Goodell, they avoided the labor lockout or the actual cancellation of games or anything. Got the owners a great deal where they make more money than before. He's going nowhere.
Well, that's true. The labor deal did seriously favor the owners. So
he's going nowhere. That's all they care about. Just follow the cash. He's keeping his job.
Yeah. Cynical bastard. You're probably right. Okay, that one is in the mix. Our next game up, Chicago is laying 3 going into Detroit.
I saying stay away from this game, but I'm going Chicago. Well, that's our rule. We don't bet Detroit games anymore, so. Not
this year. We're obviously going to have them in the mix, because otherwise we'll have no teams to bet on in 2 more years. But
no, they're off the board until they're like 10-1, and I might consider it again.
I'm leaning the same way. Detroit looked... Well, I mean, you saw the special teams at the end.
Well,
Shelly
Johnson,
and I just about killed ourselves laughing.
Well, Calvin Johnson got the receiving record.
He's still got a really decent look at 2,000.
He'll get it.
And, and they had Rice on the phone, and he just said, oh, yeah, my record's going down tonight. He's going, so what? But I think what's more important is he has a chance to get 2,000.
A little more class out of him than Eric Dickerson in regards to Adrian Peterson breaking his record.
I didn't mind Dickerson's statement, though. It's true. It's like, I don't want my record to be broken. The only person I want to break it is my son. What's the problem with that?
Jerry Rice said the same thing, except in a way that has some class to it.
Well, he was always better at PR than Dickerson, who was terrible at it from day one.
All Dickerson had to say was, I've never wanted to see anybody break my record. But if it had to be somebody, you just give it lip service. You don't.
Well, he did kind of say that. He's going, as far as I know, Adrian Peterson is a fine person and an amazing athlete. And if he does it, fine. But I don't want him to. I don't mind that. I'm sick of this. Records are meant to be broken bullshit.
Well, they are. How sick? Okay, let's put it in this perspective. How sick are you of hearing stories of the Miami Dolphins from '72 popping fucking champagne every year when the last undefeated team gets beaten?
They still own it.
I know, but you don't have to be pompous dicks about it. Is my point. Privately, I know Rice didn't want his record broken. Nobody does. That's human nature. You've accomplished something that stood for 15, 20 years. You don't want it broken. But you don't...
I didn't mind either of their statements, by the way. Yes, Rice was much more diplomatic, but I didn't mind Dickerson.
No, but everything I've read about Dickerson, that fits his personality. It's not Adrian Peterson's a good guy. Shit. That he threw in to try and soften the blow.
He's a bitter, strange man, and he was since year one. Otherwise, the Rams would have kept him,
Dickerson was a dick.
He was always a dick and always will be a dick. So I'd rather have an honest dick than somebody who has something written for him by a PR firm and a lawyer.
But then own it. Don't put the qualifier in after when people start questioning you on your attitude. Because the qualifier came after, when he got heat for what he said. So,
I thought that was one.
Just own it. Then I'm okay. Don't fucking qualify it after the fact when people go, oh, you're a dick. Well, no, Adrian Peterson's a good guy, but the only person I want to see break it is my son. Like, fuck off.
Okay, I thought it was one single statement, but whatever. I don't have a problem. One thing I don't think will happen in this game is the left tackle will not try to intentionally get Stafford injured.
Yeah, Lomas Brown. That was awesome.
Yeah, I've never heard anything like that before. Ever. Have you? I mean...
No, but I'm sure it's happened. It's just nobody's admitted it.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of the longest yard.
Longest yard or a little bit of North Dallas 40,
Yeah. Well, the longest yard went the other way where they injured the D lineman when he threw the ball in his nuts, but...
Yeah, just, okay, peel left and right, let him come straight up the center. But yeah, that made me laugh so hard.
And Scott Mitchell had reputation of being kind of a dick too, so it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I'm not ever going to justify that. You're paid to do a job, and if that's to protect the quarterback, you don't whiff on a block, hoping he'll get hurt.
And he did get hurt, so it worked. And there's going to be a story on the website tomorrow, and you want to check it out. ESPN has Lomas Brown as a analyst / whatever on their 28 NFL shows they've got going. So they have policies in place where you're supposed to not use it as a personal playground and have angry Twitter fights and all this other corporate bullshit. Well, he's on there he's arguing. It's like 3 pages worth of tweets, 3 web pages worth of tweets. He went back and forth with people, calling them names and everything.
Well, that corporate policy is to protect them from litigation. ESPN is in the business now of provoking this.
Yeah, but they don't want 3 pages. They've suspended people for less than what he did, so he won't be. He'll get suspended or canned. You just can't. If he had his own, like, you can't. When you work for something as big as ESPN, everybody's looking for. If you go online and type in just ESPN into Google, I bet you get more I hate ESPN than I like ESPN, which I don't understand. They've become what everybody wanted them to become, but now it's like anything else. When you're popular, then now you get more people trying to pick you apart. That's all it is. They still put out the best information on sports TV, in my opinion. They're better.
Yeah, I just don't watch sports TV.
They're better.
Watch games.
They're better. Their analysts are better. They have the best guys. Throw Emmett Smith out of that. They hired him for a year, but then they cut these guys as soon as they find out they're not working. And I don't watch the pregame shows either, but it's still better than the NFL Network. Fox is the only one that comes close and is probably a little bit ahead. But ESPN gave everybody the blueprint to make it.
Oh, absolutely, but that doesn't mean they're still.
No, but they were the trailblazers. Now I'm just sick of everybody. When you read something, it's always ESPN sucks and this and that. Well,
I don't watch any of them, so.
No, but in the general, if it wasn't for ESPN, you could kiss all this other sports shit we have. Goodbye.
Well, if it wasn't for them, someone else would have filled the void.
No.
Really?
Yeah, 20 years later.
Yeah, it might have taken a decade.
And we wouldn't have the packages we have for football and everything else. They set the standard. They proved it could be done, and then everybody just followed suit.
Just submit your resume already. All right. Oh.
What?
You sound pissed. Anyway, our next game up is off the board.
Thankfully.
Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do with this anyway.
Pool-wise, I'm going Pittsburgh. And in the post going up on the website tomorrow, I said, if you want to make some money, bet your mortgage payment on Pittsburgh in this game. Cleveland is starting a quarterback that matriculated at Duke. Richardson's.
So he's got a good jump shot.
Or they brought Clippers over to their. They've got ex-Duke quarterback. Richardson hurt. A couple of their D linemen are hurt. Like there's nobody going to start.
I liked Cleveland a lot this year, but yeah, it's over.
If the line ever comes up on this, bet it. Take Pittsburgh up to like 12 and bet your mortgage payment on it.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't disagree at all. Cleveland put together a really plucky season, but it's all falling apart here at the end. Management has no idea if they're going to be there. The players are catching that mood. It's just a shit show.
Well, and everybody's hurt. If they were healthy, I'd take Cleveland all day in this game. But they're just, there's like 7 guys didn't practice. And why would you play them now with 1 game left? To finish 6-10 or 5-11? And lose them for a year. So
yeah.
And Richardson proved he could.
Oh, yeah. And the O-line proved they could run block half decently.
And their defense is plucky.
I don't think Whedon is the answer, but...
No. But you could draft a quarterback now in the 2nd round and hope to get lucky. A young guy.
Yeah. Yeah, again with the new rookie rules, it's not like you're married to Whedon for a half a decade.
No.
Which is the best thing about the labor deal, you know?
Yeah. Pool-wise, I'm going Pittsburgh.
Strong. Me too. Our next game up, Houston, when I printed this, was laying 7 going to Indianapolis.
That is correct, and I can't believe it's that high, the way Houston's been playing lately. And Chuck Pagano's back for Indy. Pool-wise, if there was a money line on this, I would be interested in betting Indy on this game to win outright.
So, but we'll consider it in the mix to take the 7, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought this number was way too high. Houston has absolutely... I mean, they'd like a win, but the scenario for them to lose the number 1 seed is pretty slim, isn't it?
No, Denver just has to win, and they're playing Kansas City. If Denver wins and Houston loses, Denver's in first.
Okay.
So they're playing for a lot here, too. Houston has to win this game to win the AFC. They won't go into Denver and win again. They need home field to beat Denver or New England.
You're talking me off this. Okay.
So if we tease it, I'd be more interested in it than just the straight 7. But Houston needs this game more than any team needs a win outside of Dallas.
Yeah, that's a dream.
They beat in the first third of the season in Denver. It wouldn't happen now.
Well, okay, what I don't like then on that scenario is that Kansas City put up, 350 rush yards on Indy last week?
Yeah, but that's Indy. Indy's defense is awful.
Well, yeah, and that's who we're talking about here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you teasing it, I don't think it'll be more than 10 if Houston wins.
Well, if we're going to tease it, I'd rather make it Houston -1 then.
See, but...
Because what Houston would like to do, too, is reestablish their dominance in the run game.
Right, but
and you just saw edge rushers, all of that, just run at will on Indy.
See, what scares me is how they've played when Pagano's just been in the building. He's now coaching them again. We might have to just stay away from this game. We have too many...
Maybe. We'll talk. We'll see what we have for contenders here. Because, again, a lot are off the board, and a lot of our money lines are gone.
So, pool-wise, I'm going to take Houston to win and Indy to cover.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to split this game and actually have a reasonable expectation of it happening.
Because Indy... Can Indy move up? No, they can't. But I'm not sure. Strength of schedule. I'm just looking at division. See, Indy's ahead of Cincinnati based on the division record. So if Cincy wins, they're going to be tied almost across the board in everything. If Cincy wins and Indy loses, I think Cincy might leapfrog them because they would be tied in division record, conference record. They didn't
play head-to-head this year, did they?
No, strength of schedule would go up. But they have no scenario here on ESPN Marlon.com of what would happen. Strength of victory.
That's got to be way down the list.
Well, it's like
that must be points scored at for and against.
Well, it's 0.348 for Cincy and 0.367. Now, if Cincy wins, they'll probably pass Indy in strength of victory. Beating a 10.
I don't even know what that phrase means.
Be 10-5. They'd beat a 10-5 team, right? I'm thinking that's.
Oh, okay. I was thinking more of a point differential thing. I think, yeah, okay. You're probably right there.
The schedule, it's like Cincy's ahead of them right now.
Okay, well, this is a long shot on.
Yeah, I'm keeping it, but
on our better, and I think we both agree that this is a split game. Seven seems high.
It does. Really high. So, we'll go with their split and probably leave it out of the mix.
Yeah. The next game up, we are banned from betting. Jacksonville is getting 4 going to Tennessee.
What a disgrace.
Hey, I just watched Jets Chargers last week. Don't talk to me about disgrace.
No, 55-7. It was 50. We got a meaningless touchdown in the last 4 minutes. It was 55-0 in the fourth quarter. It was god awful. I didn't even watch the second half. I was watching Dallas, New Orleans.
Well, maybe out of empathy, I guess. I honestly forgot how badly that went for you last week.
Well, that's 2 games against the NFC North where they put up 50 on us.
Chicago. And
that was more on turnovers as well. And Locker looked lost. Some weeks he gives me some hope for the future, and then you see a game like this where he had 2 picks in the first 10 minutes, and you're just shaking your head at some of his decisions, and it's just bad. Just please lose this game and get a better draft pick. That's all I'm asking. And Jacksonville beat us already once. And I know when I'm watching the game on Sunday, I'll be cheering for Tennessee, but in my head says lose the game. The coaching staff is gone. I don't care what Munchak says about, we're close, we're making progress. Well, how can you be in week 16 and lose 55 or 55-7 and say you're making progress? The defense is a shambles. It's not like we don't have talent on defense. I don't know what in the fuck they're doing. Brutal. We tried to get Jets the game. 15-yard punts. We were picking them off at the end zone. We're just an awful team. And hopefully next year, Locker, with playing a year, will be more relaxed. And he still has the most potential out of that draft class behind, Newton. You still, between Ponder and Gabbert and the rest of them that went in the first round, he still has the most potential out of that group. And he's only started probably, maybe 2/3 of a season now of games?
Yeah, I think it's around 11.
So I can't give up on him yet, but I need to see. Andy Dalton looks better than Jake Locker. Colin Kaepernick looks better than Jake Locker. And those were the 2 guys I wanted him to pick. Marlon doesn't remember it, but I was saying Kaepernick or Dalton and, Jake Locker. At least we didn't take Christian Ponder. The only good thing I can say about Jake Locker's season this year. But we can't bet on this game. I'm splitting it because I have no idea. The last time Tennessee got beat gave up
50 earlier this season. Yeah.
Beat Miami 34-3 on the road, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm tending towards Tennessee on a bounce back, but they're reeling.
I'm splitting it.
Next game up, another meaningless contest between the Jets, returning Mark Sanchez, The prodigal son back to quarterback to face the Buffalo Bills. And they are getting 3.5 points.
3 now.
Okay.
The Jets blew Buffalo out.
Mercilessly in week 1.
And we
You
thought,
had Buffalo bet on that.
Yes. Stupidly. I don't know what the hell is happening here. Although I do know the Buffalo fans will get screwed one way or the other, whether Buffalo wins or not. As there was a new bylaw passed by the state and the county that taxes will be going up to pay for renovations to Ralph Wilson Stadium for the next 20 years, with the Bills picking up $41 million and the state and the county picking up the other $230 fucking million. I'm a sports fan. Cities, counties, quit paying for this shit.
It's ridiculous. It really pisses me off.
They've taken 5 games in the last 5 years out of fucking Buffalo. And you're still paying for it. Get your heads out of your asses. Ralph Wilson's got more money than he knows what to do with. Make him pay. Jerry Jones built $1 billion stadium in Dallas. Who do you think has a more rabid following and more fans, Dallas or Buffalo? And they wouldn't cough up the fucking money for Jones. So just look at that. And if you know how to run a business, you can build your own stadium and make more fucking money. So,
yeah, zero risk, and this never turns out well for the taxpayers, ever.
You can fucking opt out after.
Cleveland shoveled money at Art Modell for 25 fucking years, and he was such a goddamn moron. He couldn't make money out of the stadium, and he couldn't build a winning football team, and so he took the ball and left for Baltimore for a better offer. Fucking Cleveland fans in the ass.
You're going to put up $240 million or $230 million. Why not go the extra $500 million? Build a fucking dome stadium where you can actually get revenue. That's what kills these cold weather stadiums. You can't use it for anything. It's snowing 6 months of the year in Buffalo. You can't be outside. I don't know what you're going to do with that stadium. It's just for football. And
yeah.
You can opt out after 7 fucking years and move. Who lets that in?
Yeah.
You're putting up $240 million or $30 million for 20 years.
Because Ralph Wilson's heirs clearly will have the same loyalty to the city of Buffalo he does.
Ralph Wilson has no loyalty. He's playing.
Well, I'm saying he doesn't have much loyalty, but his heirs will have even less. So they'll take this money, maximize their profits, and screw you. We're going to see the next bring your chainsaws to the stadium day in Buffalo in 10 years.
Here's my thinking on it. Ralph Wilson will be dead in 7 years. That's why they opt out 7 years.
What's the over-under on that? I call it 4.
Yeah.
He's not quite mean enough to live longer than that.
Well, he's 92 or 93.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to be really fucking mean to make it past 100.
Odds are against him.
Yeah. So what's the betting line? There's got to be a line somewhere.
Taking the under wherever you set it. Anything under 4.
Okay. I thought 4 was a good over-under for that.
So he's going to live long enough and think they're going to stay in Buffalo. They'll do the appropriate grieving period of a couple of years, and then they'll yank out and move somewhere else.
Yeah, or sell it to someone, and this makes it 10 times more attractive to sell. And that's the Jack Kent Cook model with the Redskins.
Make it
another guy who built the stadium with his own motherfucking money. And as soon as he finally died, his heirs, using that, sold it to Schneider for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of profit.
Million. And then he built a stadium in fucking Virginia.
Who? True.
So, but Buffalo could end up in LA. There's nobody else going to LA, so it could be Buffalo in 4 or 5 or in 7 years. So,
Yeah.
and even if they want to move out early, what are you going to pay, the 2 years rent? Whoever's buying it to move?
Well, the cost of litigation would end up bankrupting the city of Buffalo. This is a deal that has only one winner, the owner.
Yeah. The owners wouldn't care if they moved. Like, they wouldn't care if an extra $50 million penalty or whatever to get out of the lease. Look what they did in Seattle with the Supersonics.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City and nothing. So, okay, that's my Buffalo rant. I'm splitting this one too. This has all the makings of Sanchez having a fucking career game.
I disagree, and I honestly think Buffalo's gonna win and cover. I'm taking Buffalo.
But I might just split them all and see how I do.
Well, I can probably predict that. Our next game up, another meaningless contest. Well, semi-meaningless. The Giants have Bill Barnwell and Grantland computed it as an 8% chance of making the playoffs. Philly is 7.5-point underdogs going to face the Giants.
You are correct.
The Giants need to win. They need Dallas to lose. They need
Chicago to lose. And they need Minnesota to lose. And if Minnesota wins and they're in, Dallas wins and they're in, and Washington would be out. That's where it sits right now. Chicago wins, Minnesota loses, Chicago's in. Dallas needs all three teams ahead of them to lose. And they have to win. And, Michael Vick is back starting a quarterback for the Eagles. The dog whisperer is back. I'm splitting this one too. The Giants have just been awful. I think Shady McCoy's back too this week.
There's too many points involved in this.
That extra half point, if it was 7 or 6 Giants, but I'm splitting it.
Yeah, the half point is part of it. Also, who can you predict in this game? And yeah, the Giants would love to have another, win and they're in, unlikely Super Bowl run. But Jason Pierre-Paul has 10 fewer sacks than last year. Like, the entire line has 30-odd sacks fewer than last year. These aren't last year's Giants.
Oh, even though they showed flashes of it throughout the year?
Well, they just kept saying, who we are is we turn it on when it matters. Yeah, you can't decide to turn a switch.
Is this something? Okay, if Green Bay loses to Minnesota and San Francisco wins, San Francisco would move into the second seed.
Wow. Yeah, I'm probably splitting this too because who knows? Who absolutely knows? So that's a stay away.
Like if San Francisco loses, Seattle wins. Seattle moves into third.
I think there's a scenario where they can get the 2, isn't there?
Yeah, they beat Green Bay has to lose. No.
Which is not entirely impossible. Minnesota, with Peterson, has a really good look at beating Green Bay. Time of possession, yards on the ground. I don't think it's at all impossible.
If, say, Dallas wins, here's a scenario. Dallas wins. San Francisco wins. Seattle stays locked in at the 5. If Seattle wins, you'd have Dallas and Seattle. Seattle would have to go to Dallas.
Where they'd miss an extra point. held by Russell Wilson at the end of the game. Wouldn't that be beautiful?
That would be a great matchup. Or you could have, if Seattle wins San Francisco, that's a long shot San Francisco loses at home to Arizona. But they almost lost at home to St. Louis. So, but if Seattle gets the division, you'd have San Francisco and Dallas playing. That'd be flashback to the 80s. Okay, enough with the scenarios.
Yeah.
If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
All right, Tampa Bay at Atlanta off the board.
I'm going Atlanta.
Yeah, and even if a line comes up.
Well, Atlanta's playing for nothing, so it could be a Tampa game here.
Tampa Bay is collapsing under Schiano. There was a period there, but they have not looked like anything resembling a football team in 5 weeks.
How much are the starters playing in Atlanta? That could be why this is all closed.
Yeah, and I almost think that their backups can beat Tampa Bay.
Nah, I might go Tampa in this one, just because Atlanta's playing for absolutely nothing other than pride.
They might take some balls.
Well, they might see a quarter of action, their starters. They don't want anybody hurt. Full game.
Yeah, fair enough. But seriously, have you watched Tampa Bay in 5 weeks?
Oh, I know.
They did just enough to make me think, all right, here's an exciting offensive club. And their last great moment was the worst interception I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, that was courtesy of your San Diego Chargers.
Oh, yes. It was amazing. That was Tampa Bay's last big hurrah.
Okay, I'm splitting this one for the record. I may even switch it to Tampa.
You're splitting it at a 0 spread.
Well, I may change it to Tampa. Both ways.
I still think Atlanta's had so much struggle in the playoffs, they don't dare limp in with attitude. They've been so shitty in the playoffs, they want to beat the shit out of Tampa and make a statement. Atlanta's going to win this. Next up. And now we're talking crazy numbers. Arizona is plus a meaty 16.5 versus the Niners.
Okay. I'm going to throw out a wildly suspect bet proposal. Indy plus 13, Arizona plus 22.5. We tease at 6 points on each. And seeing that they're such crappy games, we may even throw another team in there. Make it a 3-team tease.
Well, there is another 16-point spread coming up.
Okay, so do you honestly think San Francisco is going to beat them by more than 22.5? I guess it's possible. But
Arizona's defense isn't terrible, but...
No, but I don't see them putting up a 40-10 win. Like Seattle rolled.
But who did that to Arizona last week?
That's true.
And don't you think the Niners are better than they are?
Yes. But Seattle rolled.
I want to stay away from this.
I said it was a wildly suspect.
Yeah, and I'm not crazy about it.
I'm splitting it. I don't care. There's 16.5. How many teams have covered monstrous spreads this year? Very few.
Have covered monstrous? Oh, you mean like the favorite covers?
Very few.
Yeah, it's certainly been. I don't think I want to bet it, but I'm not against your split on this.
It's just too many points. Even though San Francisco's going to win the game, 16.5 is just too much. He's still a rookie quarterback.
I want to split it, but I don't think I want to make it part of our bets, man. Just because of the way Arizona, their only game of note in the last 12 was for some reason teams get up to beat the Lions. They just hate the Lions.
Well, I don't care much for him. He costs us fucking money.
Well, yeah, that's fair. But, no, I'm not involving Arizona in any of my bets for the rest of this year. I agree, pool-wise, split them. It's too many points there.
Oh, yes.
Now, this is one of the better games of the week, actually, coming up. We've got Green Bay laying 3.5 going into Minnesota.
Move to 3.
Oh, interesting.
Uh,
I kind of wish I would have gotten it at 3.5 because I kind of like Mini in this.
I do too, but we can't bet the money line.
And that's where the money would be. That's where the bet would be. You're right.
To bet on a 3-point spread, I would rather pick a team to win at that number.
Especially a home team.
Yes. Why is it closed?
Almost all of them are. Why don't we put this down as one of our tentative bets? And we'll bet this money line if it comes up.
Got to come up.
It has to. I think they're jitsy because after last week, money line bets were gold.
So I'm going to check my bet365.com account and see.
Okay. Meanwhile, we sort of touched on it earlier. Green Bay's entire defense is suspect, and their run defense particularly so. Adrian Peterson is looking at a record, and a big record, one of the biggest. This is not consecutive games with a touchdown pass, which none of us even knew they were keeping stats on. And they weren't until the computer age when people entered the data and said, hey, look, he threw a touchdown in each of these games. No one's talked about this shit in the past. Season rushing in a 16 season? Absolutely. It's Dickerson's record right now. And Adrian Peterson has a long shot, but a shot to beat it against a suspect run D. And to make the playoffs. I like everything about Minnesota in this.
Me too. Me too. I'm just pulling up the lines here on Bet365.
Okay.
They've got money line.
And?
Where is it? Vikings are plus 160.
All right, book that right now.
Okay.
This is kind of like the Pittsburgh. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but the price is juicy, and I think there's a really good chance it could happen.
$10 pays 26. That bet is booked.
Nice work. Nice work.
Well, I knew I went to this site for a reason. And to be honest, Bet365, if you want to watch live games, they won't have football, but they have sports, hockey. They'll have, if you want to bet Russian Hockey League or tennis or horse racing, they have the races all on there. You can bet almost any track in the world. It's phenomenal. So, there you go.
Our next game is another 16-point spread. Kansas City goes to Denver.
Stay away.
Yeah. Wow, we see Peyton in Week 16.
Week 17.
Or Week 17. My apologies. 16 games.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I mean, for a lot of those years in Indy,
he didn't have to play.
Come out, wave to the crowd. They'd bring in Sorgi or Painter or whoever.
Well, they'd get Marvin Harrison his 100 catches. They get Reggie Wayne a record for most receptions. Or Harrison got the record for most receptions. He played a half against Tennessee. Came in and just threw slants to those guys till he got the records, and then they all sat down.
he always helped his teammates get the records. Yeah, and then he would sit on the bench.
Yeah, and I'm splitting this game. It's based on the fact that Denver couldn't cover, what was it, 12? Yeah, 12. They couldn't cover 12 in Kansas City. So, I'm not
splitting this game. I'm Denver all the way.
I'm not giving them 16.
Peyton's just sitting there thinking, yeah, this is why I came back. I've got a serious look at another ring.
Yeah, they do. But if Houston doesn't lose, I don't think they get there.
We'll see. That would be a good AFC Championship game, but we're projecting. But
so England, Denver, in New England, or in Denver.
Denver's turned into a really well-rounded football club. That's what I like about them. In different games, different aspects of their game have stepped up to win.
And no Sean.
It's not just all Peyton, you know?
Yeah, no Sean Marino has been a beast the last month. He's looked really good.
Oh,
but most running backs do when they have Peyton under center.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I still think this looks like one of the more balanced football teams Peyton's ever been in command of. The receivers are more egalitarian, for lack of a better word, you know?
Yeah.
No one seems to care who catches the ball. They're just catching it. He infected that team with something really special, and I don't bet against them, at the very least, to make the Super Bowl, and I think they've got as good a chance as any team out there to win it.
Well, just remember this before you start sucking on the Peyton Manning teat. His record in the playoffs is under 500.
Part of that is because he never played in 17, and the teams were...
No, that's crap.
I don't think the teams were that balanced.
That's crap.
I think this is a better balanced
Marlon,
team from defense to offense.
I will give you that, but you can't tell me when you go 14-2 and you lose to teams at home in the playoffs that you shouldn't, that it's because it's balanced or imbalanced. If you were that imbalanced, you wouldn't go 14-2. He never had great games. He had 2 great games in the playoffs. And he's been bad in the playoffs. This isn't me hating Peyton Manning because I do. This is fact.
Hey, I'm not anointing them anything.
And if you want to say about imbalanced teams, Tom Brady would have 7 Super Bowls if he had the talent Manning had on offense. He won fucking Super Bowls with Deion Branch and Jabbar fucking Gaffney. If you gave him Harrison and Wayne, who's stopping that?
I don't know how this turned into me dissing Tom Brady.
No, you're not, but I'm saying that you're going, I wouldn't bet against him to go to the Super Bowl. His record's under 500, and they had just as good a teams in Indy. There may have been a different philosophy on defense that they built for speed because they would generally have the lead. But he...
Definitely on defense, and you're 100% right on that point.
He shit the bed in the playoffs more often than not.
Because the defense could not
Marlon, when they won the
without
Super Bowl in Baltimore, the defense won that fucking game. They put up 5 field goals in Baltimore. The defense won them that fucking game.
Yeah. Well, and I've seen the Chargers take Peyton out a couple of times.
I know, at home.
I've enjoyed... Well, once at home, once on the road. But
if you're the great quarterback of the generation, at some point you carry your team to a win.
And maybe this is that point, because here's the other thing. I think there's a sense of urgency that maybe wasn't there before.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think Peyton has maybe become better. Yeah, I'm sucking Peyton's dick, but
I'll believe it when they're there.
Fair enough. But it's a stay away for betting purposes.
Yeah. So is the next one.
Miami at New England. A shocking only 10 points.
Well, that's because they didn't cover in Miami. That's why it's 10. They didn't cover a big number in Miami.
Yeah.
On that shit 30-second field goal because we need a field goal anyway and a touchdown. That cost us a bet. Can you tell I'm a little bitter?
Boy, we remember the losses. But I bet you we couldn't tell who we won on all year. Always the way with gamblers. I like New England both ways, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I'm going to take New England both ways here, but...
I do like New England's defense. That team's better than I thought they'd ever be. But...
And New England's pretty much locked in to their playoff position. I can't see Denver losing to Kansas City.
No, I can't.
So
Neither
they
can
move
they.
up into. Wow.
And plus New England...
If
New England plays afternoon, so does Denver. So at least there's...
Hey, if Houston loses in Indy and New England wins, they'd move into second. Houston to drop all the way to 3. Because New England beat Houston. They'd be tied record head-to-head. Would go to New England.
Belichick plays his guys late, so...
Yeah, no,
I like New England
I don't want to bet it, but I'm taking...
I'd consider it on a tease, to tell you the truth.
Okay, only in a 3... If we're doing a tease, we're doing a 3-team tease.
Okay.
Because there's no money in 2-team tease.
We got 1 bet down, 2 bets left, and 3 games to go.
Okay, and the next one we can't bet on.
No, for 2 reasons. 1, Sports Interaction has it completely off the board for unknown reasons to me.
It doesn't make much sense, does it?
It's because no one cares? Is it like the tree falls in the forest sort of game out there?
It's off the board here, too, on Bet365 because of Carson Palmer's hurt. I know! But that's why the
Really? I heard he was getting benched anyway.
But when the quarterback is injured and they don't know who it is, that's
what's his name? Terrell Pryor?
Yeah.
I heard last week they were going to go with Pryor.
Just third
and it
down.
had nothing to do with Carson Palmer's status.
No, they were status. Is that Canadian slang?
I've been hanging out in Boston lately.
In the garden. No. So, in this, for pool players, San Diego both ways, and they lose another draft position.
You're right. Yeah, fuck.
In a meaningless game, they pick up and go 7-9 and lose a couple of draft spots because they've won their last 2 games.
Yep.
So, that's all we need to say on that game. San Diego, and Norv Turner and A.J. Smith will be gone.
No, really, please.
Oh, this off-season is going to be fucking ridiculous. Buffalo's going to get a new coach and staff. San Diego's going to get a new coach and staff. Dallas could get a new coach and staff, even though they've said they're not going.
No, I don't think that's going to happen.
Who was the other one? Philadelphia's getting a new coach and staff. Tennessee's going to get a new coaching staff if the owner has any guts. Oh, Kansas City. Like, Black Monday, this coming Monday, is going to be sick. There could be 6, 7, 8 coaches gone on Monday.
This is just a year late. This whole year was like a year in purgatory for me because you heard me just go, okay, the only good thing about San Diego losing is Norv and or Smith are gone, and then we can start looking at the future. And then they kept them both. It's like this season never happened to me, and I've never been able to get the enthusiasm? Jesus.
What the hell? Have you got, are you being operated like a puppet and the strings aren't moving on your mouth fast enough?
I couldn't.
And I wasn't even going to say anything, but you got yourself enthusiasm? Was that like a question?
A question in the middle of a word, no less.
You gave it an extra syllable there.
Well, that wasn't good. I'll stick with simple syllables.
2-syllable words max, please.
Anyway, yeah, so the whole year I just couldn't get the enthusiasm.
No, I was the same way with the Titans. I knew it was going to be a bad year. And well, you know me. How many times have I phoned you pissed off after a Titans game? Like lost, like in the years that we've known each other.
Oh, yeah, and this year?
This year I got mad at one game when we lost in Jacksonville. Oh, 2 games, sorry, Indy game. That was the only game I phoned you on.
The New Orleans game for me, where I just went livid, and that was...
You guys still had you guys were rolling then.
And I still didn't believe it, but I didn't like seeing the fix. But yeah, I haven't had that enthusiasm at all, because what's going to happen next year should have happened last year. And so they've just wasted a year of me as a fan.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty bitter about that.
Well, at least, hey, they've sold out the Raider game, so people can actually go watch it on TV.
Oh, well, good. So,
and check
Oakland invades San Diego.
YouTube on Monday.
Yeah.
For the fights in the parking lot and the stands of this game. They'll be up there. Trust me.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. So I think I posted last year a guy getting knocked out in San Diego in the parking lot.
Well, it's classic, but...
Yeah.
Next game up, St. Louis plus 11 in Seattle.
I think, okay, if we're doing a 3-team tease...
Yeah.
Seattle, New England, and either we take either side, Indy or Houston. I'll let you decide that. But I think that's our 3-team tease right there.
Okay, I like your first two, and I agree. As soon as I read the line there,
they put up.
I'd rather have Houston at 1.
I'm fine with that.
I know we're betting against Pagano and Chuck Strong and all that, but no, I like Houston. 3-team tease it.
All right, well, let's finish the games here first.
Okay.
So, yeah, Seattle's going to blow St. Louis out. They've put up 50 the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Carroll is playing it like it's college, where you get points for margin of victory, you know?
And out of the quarterbacks drafted this past year, would you have believed between Andrew Luck, Robert Griffin III, and Russell Wilson, what the odds would have been for Wilson to be the one to break Peyton Manning's rookie TD record? Wilson's going to break it this week. I think he's only 1 behind now.
I wasn't even aware of that.
He had 25. Wilson's at 24 right now.
Wow.
You could get some serious money if there was a line on that at the start of the year.
Okay.
The 3rd round, people. And he's 5'11". So I don't want to hear any more about Doug Flutie was good in the NFL. Russell Wilson's fucking good in the NFL for a short quarterback, okay?
And we'll take Breeze, too.
Well, he's 6
Same height.
No, Wilson's 5'11".
Oh, no, same height as Flutie. 6.5. 6 feet, half inch.
6 feet? No.
They were on the same team.
Wow.
The Chargers.
Must have had lifts in when they took the team stats.
Okay.
Neither here nor there.
Our final game. Dallas plus 3.5 at Washington. I am staying away on gambling this game.
Oh, let's go moneyline Dallas. We got to bet our boys.
No.
Yes.
Washington is going to clock them. No, it's not going to happen, Boyd. If it happens, we take that. We'll call this a hedge by staying away. Washington is going to murder them.
No. RG3's not back. He's not healthy. I'll tell you where the money's coming. Plus 3.5. Dallas is minus 120. Washington's plus 100 minus 3.5.
So what do we have better?
Nothing. We got our 3-team tease and then nothing.
No, when we already bet the money line.
Yeah, I want to take the money line on Dallas. where are we going to get 2 more games to do a parlay? Out all this crap. Like, honestly, Giants, Philly, Jets, Buffalo, Tennessee, New Orleans.
Well, I kind of like New Orleans.
Yeah, but there's no point in. I don't want to bet Washington, and there's no money. Well, yeah, if we parlay it, we could. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dallas plus 3.5 on the parlay with New Orleans. But
Dallas isn't going to win the East, man.
Okay, can we take Dallas plus 3 on bet 365 along with New Orleans?
I'd rather just bet.
Dude, you got to let me put Dallas in here. I need some karma on that fucking game.
Our karma is not, I don't know, productive.
Dear.
No, seriously. Dallas couldn't beat New Orleans at home.
Listen, Dallas isn't going to give them 21 easy points like they did before. And Dallas almost won that frickin' game. One of these years, Dallas is due to win the big game at the end of the fucking year.
What a great statement. I'm going to fucking chisel that in your tombstone. Or spray paint it when I'm banned from your funeral.
Yes. RG3 isn't 100%. They can say what they want. One hit, and it's Kirk Cousins coming in to try and beat him.
All right, let's parlay it then.
Okay, and I'm going on the...
And here's my reasoning ultimately, is Washington struggled to beat Philly by a TD.
Yes. And where the hell is that New Orleans game on here? Who are they playing? Why can't I see it on this?
It's like game 2 on the...
But we're betting it on the other site.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. So we're betting -5.
For Nolans.
Yeah. And... why didn't that come in? Where's my bet card? Oh, there it is. Okay. Dallas, +3 on this site. +105.
Okay.
So our $10 bet will pay $20.50.
Okay. On a 2-team parlay?
Yeah. It's because...
No, that's wrong. That's got to be wrong, dude.
No parlay options. Oh, straight.
Because a 2-team parlay should be paying us over 30. I mean, we might as well just bet New Orleans -5. We'd make 19 on 9.
Oh, that's... oh, wait. Remove. Why wasn't that... it wasn't coming up properly. Why wasn't that doing a parlay as soon as I did it?
I don't know, but yeah, there was no way I was making a 2-team parlay for a $20 payout.
Why? I don't understand. I just...
Does it not let you parlay money line? Or no, we're betting them both on the spread. Just...
parlay options. Okay, it's because I put... okay. I don't want them straight. I want 2-play parlay. What does it pay us? This isn't even making any sense. Oh, it's +291. If we do round robin 2-play parlay. That's what we want.
What are we getting at Sports Interaction? Because we usually get better than 29 in the 2-team parlay.
Won't, because Dallas is -120.
We'll see what it is at Sports Interaction, because we were looking at $36 on a 2-team parlay last week.
We'll be lucky if it hits 20.
No.
On here, yep. $25.
Okay, so it's better there, so bet it there.
$35. And we get 39 on bet 365 because Dallas is plus 105 at plus 3. We'll get 39.10 on the other one because it's plus 291. And on Sports Interaction, it's plus 250.
Okay, so we'll probably get 29. Anyway, okay.
You get 39.10.
Okay.
You get your 10 back. So I'm betting it on bet 365.
Okay.
We're getting better money. Yep. 39.13 it pays.
Okay. And let's book our 3-team teas.
Well, I'm going to check it out and see what we get here, too.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, so our tease is Houston. Oh, price change. Oh, see, Houston plus, it's minus 105 now.
I still like Houston.
I know. But it went from plus 100 to minus 105 in the half hour that we were talking. Okay. And what was the other ones we were taking?
Seattle and New England.
New England. So we're teasing. Okay, then Seattle. And we'll tease that down to 6. Oh, yeah, it's going to pay $26. Now let's see the other one. Patriots. I'm terrible memory. Texans. And Seahawks. I don't think they have. They don't have a.
They don't have a 3-team 6-point teaser?
I just had to change it. 2-team teasers. 3-team teasers. One. $10 pays $26.
Same price.
Same price. We'll bet it at Sports Interaction.
Yes.
Stay with our homies. Okay. Oh, I like these.
After the confusion,
we have 3-team teas. We teased Seattle against St. Louis. We teased Seattle down 6 points. We need them to win by 5. We teased Houston down 6 from -7 to -1, and we teased New England down from -10 to -4. $10 bet pays $26. And I closed off the other website.
Okay, well, I will tell you. We took a 2-team parlay. New Orleans -5, Dallas +3, and that pays $39.10.
Yes.
And our final straight up bet is we bet $10 on the money line on Minnesota. $10 pays $26.
I like those bets this week, buddy.
I liked them last week too, and we were right.
So I hope we can hit at least 2.5 out of that again. Would be nice.
Indeed.
But we should wrap this up.
Indeed, we should.
You can check out our podcast on YouTube. Just search for our channel. It's Offensive Lines. You can search for us on iTunes, Offensive Lines, or you can listen to it on our website, offensivelines.ca. Follow us on Twitter, at Offensive Lines. You'll get updates when we have new website posts or when the podcast is available. Check us out on facebook.com/Offensive Lines. And if you want to send us an email, it's offensivelines@shaw.ca. Now, Marlon, I have to bring up one thing I forgot. I was going to bring it up with a couple of the teams he played. Chad Johnson now has a sex tape out there.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I just thought of this. When you hear Chad Johnson sex tape all together, doesn't it sound more like a sexual aid than an actual tape of him having sex? It sounds like something he would put out and market as a sexual aid. Chad Johnson sex.
Well, it's possible. And my first reaction to that, too, is also what? This is the first?
Well, yeah. Well,
seems like it should be volume 11.
Well, when I first heard it, I was thinking, what took so long? And now he's claiming...
Well, he even said it in the Miami press conference. He's going to have to go into porn. Like he told us.
Say, the chick... And there's a link on the website going up tomorrow. Or no, it was up today, actually, of that.
All right.
The tiny clip. And I didn't say it with a T there, people. It's just a tiny clip. All right. That's it for this week. Good luck to everybody in their pools. This is the final week. And I'm Boyd.
I'm Marlon. Happy New Year. And remember, it's amateur hour. Stay home.
Enthusiasm?